Why do we promote things that are unattainable? Why do we promote things that can cause our little girls and cause our little boys and cause our young adults to be so insecure that it would push them to doing things that they wouldn't normally do, or things that are outside of their character, in order to achieve the same things that they see these famous rappers, these famous female rappers, these famous celebrities doing? Why would we do that? It's kind of insane. Hey guys, what is up? It is Cam. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how female rap has continued to ruin this generation of women and girls. I made a video that was very similar to this around this time last year. I really wanted to revisit some of those same talking points, looking at it through the lens of we're seeing a lot of talk about how children, especially little girls, are growing up too fast. So I wanted to take a look into how female rap has been influencing the younger generation, so like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and really just kind of talk about how the effects of what female rap is doing to this generation are probably going to be incredibly long lasting. And sometimes I fear that it may be a little bit too late to reel the kids back in so that they aren't following down the same footsteps of people that are portraying a life that a lot of the time they don't even live. And so before we get into everything, if you want to see more social and pop culture commentary content, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel, as well as click the notification bell so you never miss another one of my uploads. If you want to keep up with my beauty and lifestyle content, you can subscribe to my second YouTube channel. And if you want to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on all my social media. I'll make sure to have everything on the screen and linked down below. And without further ado, let's get into it. So I kind of want to start this video off by talking about the representation of female rap in today's culture and society, because I feel like since we are consuming a whole lot of media and a whole lot of media all the time, because people are constantly in front of screens, whether that means the iPad, the phone, the laptop, the television, because media is such a big part of our everyday lives, I think it's important to look at how female rappers specifically are presenting themselves and being this sort of representation in pop culture. And so a few of the things that I recognize just straight off the bat whenever I'm looking into any of the popular female rappers is the fact that they're usually portraying a glamorized lifestyle, tends to seem a little bit materialistic, makes it all about their looks, so having a pretty face and a small waist, and also they're disguising their music and what they're talking about as being female empowerment. I know the conversation of female empowerment has been super buzzword, especially in the last, I feel like 5 to 10 years, and a lot more women are starting to find their voice, find their independence, and really just kind of break away from the mold that I feel like society has tried to cast women in since forever, really. It's very interesting to see how the female liberation movement has worked hand in hand with female rap to promote something that could largely be very dangerous if we push it too far and we're not careful. I'm not sure if talking about selling yourself for different material goods such as purses, jewelry, cars, clothes is necessarily the definition of women empowerment, but I also think that making the active choice to use your body as the catalyst for all of the attention that you get and to be the main topic of conversation whenever it comes to your music, especially because not only is the actual artist rapping about it, but also they're promoting it to a point where it gets the people, the audience, you and me, who are listening to the music talking about it as well. But at a point, I really do think it plays into the idea of how is overexposing yourself equal and parallel to being empowered as a woman, and why have we made it so normal to think that we have to put on a show and we have to reveal the deepest, darkest parts of ourselves, reveal the most vulnerable parts of ourselves in order to be empowered, in order to break away from the classic woman role, and in order to be an obvious display of our feminine independence. Because I also think in the same way that there's a huge cloud of feminine independence looming over rap music, it's promoting this glamorized lifestyle that would make you believe that if someone else is not paying for all of the material things that you have, making your life easy by doing a whole bunch of things for you, taking you out places, allowing you to have experiences that you wouldn't necessarily have if you didn't have the fame and the status that you had. I think as female rappers, if they weren't doing the things that they were doing in order to make that money for themselves, to provide those experiences for themselves, they would be having a man do it, or they would be having someone someone else get it for them. And so not only are we seeing like a high level of materialism just in terms of seeing people having a bunch of things, and I don't think this is necessarily even exclusive to female rappers. I think it's a trope that we're seeing play out through our entire society just because of social media and overconsumption and things like that. But what I see a lot of the times is that this glamorized lifestyle is taken for gospel, and this is what people are aspiring to, almost to a detriment of themselves. And because they see their favorite artists, their favorite female rappers talking about how they were able to do XYZ dehumanizing thing in order to get there, they think, okay, well, if she did XYZ humiliating thing in order to get there, and by humiliating I mean parading her body, talking about how she had to bust it wide open for the things that she has, how she had to scam a guy to get there. If we're seeing this female rapper do all of these things in order to live this specific lifestyle, if you're young and impressionable, you think that you have to follow in those same footsteps, or at least in similar footsteps, in order to get similar, if not exact, results. But I think a lot of the thing that we're missing is people don't always live the same lifestyles that they portray in their music, and they're not going to disclose the fact that they're not actually living the lifestyle because their aim is to sell you a pipe dream. Their aim is to portray a specific image, even if it's not the image that they necessarily uphold in their real lives. But of course, because it is entertainment, and of course because it is something that is used as a tool to elevate themselves, they're going to get it by any means necessary. And if that means they have to trick you into believing that they live this life, that they do all of these things in order to garner all of the things that they have, then they're going to do so, because as long as they keep us hooked, the viewers, the audience, as long as they keep you hooked, the people that are supporting them, they continue to make money. That's really what this is all about. I think it's really important to look at, a lot of times people are parading their bodies around in order to garner the attention, or parading their faces around in order to garner attention. I know one of the most popular sayings that we have in this society is like, face card never decline. Listen, let me tell you something. I feel like my face card is not declining right now, but I also think that we place so much emphasis on looks, especially when it comes to our entertainers, and especially when it comes to female rappers, because their entire personas, their entire image is built around sex appeal. And so if you're not pretty, if your body is not snatched to the gods, to the heavens, if you are not looking right and tight at all times, nobody is going to want to look at you, let alone listen to your music. And I think that's a lot of the reason why we see a lot of these artists, especially when it comes to female rap, they're carving copies of each other. They come out looking the exact same as one another, because it's almost like this is the blueprint that you have to follow if you want to be successful. And if you're not willing to reveal your body, if you're not willing to show everything off, if you're not willing to get plastic surgery or get cosmetic procedures done, if you're not willing to wear a whole lot of makeup in order to really sell the look, if you're not willing to put 30-inch bust down with a middle part in your head to achieve the look, then it's less likely that you will be able to be successful. And while I think that people have been able to break out of that mold and find success, I think eventually a lot of people do get pressured into succumbing to that stereotype and that trope, because people on the internet are mean and they be bullying people, and sometimes it's easier to just fall victim to the pressure than it is to put up with people telling you you ugly every single time you turn around. It's not good for nobody. And I know that if it's not good for me having people tell me I'm ugly, and I don't even really have that much notoriety or popularity, I just absolutely know it's not any good for female rappers, especially because I feel like women are taught to value their looks so heavily. I just know it's not good for them either, especially if they're having people constantly commenting under their posts and everything. Yeah, listen, I empathize. I think the way that female rap is represented in today's culture and society really makes me wonder, like, why do we allow certain things to be portrayed, especially if we realize that it's something that can be harmful, if not to an entire generation, an entire society. When considering the reason why female rap has such the effect that it does on us, we have to consider why we're continuing to feed into that feedback loop that would make us consume content that we know is maybe not so good for us. And so all of this talk about female rap is starting to make me visualize about the different types of outfits that they wear to perform, especially at their shows and things like that. And these costumes definitely are very reminiscent, to me at least, of lingerie and underwear and stuff like that. And it kind of reminds me that sometimes we just have to put clothes on. And I feel like underwear gives us the perfect base layer for getting dressed and getting ready for the day, which is why I am so excited to be partnering with Parade, the sponsor of today's video. And now, as somebody with sensitive skin, really sensitive skin, it has always been incredibly hard for me to find underwear that is just comfortable for me to wear, that doesn't make me want to actually like crawl up out of my skin, which is why I love both the ultra flattering high-rise thong and the comfy high-cut cheeky underwear, because not only is this material just so soft, this is in their new cotton material, and y'all already know as ladies we need to make sure that our underwear, it can handle all of the moisture down there that comes with being a woman. So it's important to make sure that you're actually wearing cotton underwear more than you're wearing any other type of, when I tell you these are so soft, a lot of different underwear makes me uncomfortable and just irritates my skin, but this, listen, it's buttery smooth and the cut is so flattering. So like I have this one, which is the cheeky cut. It's pretty much full coverage in the back. I have the thong, which is great for if you want to wear more tightly fitted clothes and you don't want to see any seams. Absolutely perfect if you're looking for versatility, if you're looking for comfortability, if you're looking for affordability, because the prices are also extremely affordable. I really do feel like you guys are going to like these. They're very basic, like these are everyday styles that you can wear. A thong is an everyday style you can wear. A cheekster or bikini cut is an everyday style you can wear that you will feel good and you'll feel comfortable in. And so if you are in the market to get some new underwear and you really want something that's going to be comfortable, you're going to want something that you're going to be able to afford, you're going to want something that just makes you feel good, makes you look good, make sure you go ahead and use my code Camryn40 for 40% off the whole site. And thank me later when you get your new underwear, because I just already know you're absolutely gonna love it. Thank you, Parade, so much for sponsoring this portion of today's video. And you guys, let me know how you're liking the underwear when you buy it and try it, because if you're anything like me and have any of the concerns that I have, you're definitely gonna love it. And I love that for you. Run to their website and get your underwear before they sell out. Let's get back to the video. I know I kind of touched on this a little bit in the last section, but I do want to discuss how music affects the way that we live our lives, from the way that we think to the way that we act, to the way that we dress, to the way that we interact with other people, all the things, because I feel like a lot of people do not understand how big of a role music plays in why we do the things that we do. Like, imagine singing certain lyrics over and over again to your favorite song, your favorite female rapper song, singing lyrics over and over again to the point where it's altering your brain chemistry. After you have sung certain lyrics, not only do you start to meditate on that, like you're thinking about it constantly because it's stuck in your head, obviously, but also you start to embody the thing that you're singing. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of case studies on this where people start to become, and I use the word become very loosely, but become the things that they are singing about. Like, so if you're constantly singing about sex, money, murder, drugs, if you're constantly singing about busting it open for a Birkin, if you're constantly singing about being F and F, I don't know what you expect your life to look like. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't know what you expect your life to look like. Now, if you're singing music that is actually edifying to you, if you're singing music that uplifts you and not in a way that causes you to compromise morals, other things, then it's a lot less likely for you to fall into the trap of finding yourself directly living out the same lyrics that you listen to your favorite female rapper sing. And it's interesting because I think that music is very similar to the way that it has always been, but also in a lot of ways it is very different, because I don't think that talking about more like sexual things in music is new. I think back in the day, a lot of people were a lot more elusive about it and mysterious about it. And even the people that were more explicit about it, I know that those were things that kids were not really allowed to listen to. Like, your parents would either turn it off to you to cover your ears, or if you got caught listening to it behind your parents' back, you're getting torn up. You're going on punishment. Put your phone on the dresser now. Like, it was that type of energy. There was a lot of shame around listening to music that we know we had no business listening to. Listen, we were getting disciplined out here. And so while I do feel like music was a lot more covert back in the day than it is now, I do think that there has been a significant transition that we have seen over the years with music becoming more and more explicit. Like, people are not afraid to talk about everything that they be doing in the bedroom, or not, because we don't even really know these people for real. We don't even know if they really be doing stuff for real. But they're not afraid to talk about all this stuff in detail from start to finish. They do not care. There's no trace of discrimination discreetness anywhere in sight. You're not gonna find it in today's music. I absolutely guarantee you, especially not in female rap. Like, Cardi B is out here telling a man to eat her booty like a plum. Like, I can't make this stuff up. And so the fact that we are singing about certain things and eventually internalizing them, sometimes consciously, sometimes subconsciously, we start to realize that all of a sudden our personalities are morphing into the likes of a Sexxy Red or a Suki Hana, and we don't even understand how we ended up here and how we got here so quickly. And so I really feel like this does play into the hypersexualization that we see of women. Even as controversial as it may be for me to say, women are hypersexualizing themselves. Like, the female rappers are hypersexualizing themselves. Like, yes, male rappers are doing it, but female rappers are also doing it to themselves. And so I feel like while we can give equal responsibility to both male rap and female rap, we can just put it on rap in general and even music in general in most cases. But since we're talking about rap right now, like, we can put the responsibility on everybody. Like, everybody is singing, rapping, whatever, talking about stuff that is just absolutely too much for it to be appropriate to be public entertainment, public content. And I also do think that female rappers get a lot more backlash than male rappers do for having this type of content, but I really do think it's the responsibility of both parties. And I feel like if we are going to look at why hypersexualization is so bad, especially for younger women, smaller girls, we have to take a look at what we are allowing our kids to listen to. Like, we have to. And I'm gonna talk about that a little bit in the next section. And not even just for young girls, but just girls in general, young women in general. Like, there's no reason women should be made to feel as if they should be incredibly sexual in order to get attention from men, or in order to be able to make money, in order to be able to be somebody's arm candy, in order to be able to be provided for, and all of these things. Like, it's just not something that is okay to portray, considering that hypersexualization is the reason why a lot of women are experiencing a whole lot of dangerous situations in our society. And I feel like a lot of people try to make excuses for today's rap music just in general, not specifically female rap, but I think it's interesting to watch arguments that are in favor of secular rap music that attempt to justify what these rappers are promoting by saying that it's all for show. But I really do feel like a lot of people don't act like they actually know the difference between what is for show and what's actually real life, which in turn means that we're not teaching our children to know the difference, and we're just normalizing certain things that I genuinely don't think should be considered normal. So the last section I want to get into is female rap making our little girls grow up way too fast. There has been a lot of conversation on the internet recently just about the adultification of kids, and I do want to make a whole separate video about that because I feel like we could go super deep into it, and I just feel like now it's not the time or the place. But I do want to talk about it as it pertains to music because I do think there's a whole lot of parallels there. But there's been a lot of conversation about how little girls are acting way too grown for their age, and how they're trying to listen to Pound Town, listen to Ski and all the other stuff. And I just, listen, we need to all take a pause and be for real. I think we need to ask ourselves what is actually going on. Why are we allowing our children to be exposed to sexually explicit music, sexually explicit imagery, and all different types of stuff that is really going to be detrimental for their development as the youth, especially considering that they're going to think that this is something to aspire to. We are allowing our children to have female rappers as role models, and I think that if you're allowing your children to have role models of people that make lip glosses that are directly named after women's genitalia and STDs, we should really think about that for a second, because that's not okay. Like, that is not normal. One of the main things that we're seeing is the fact that children don't know how to stay in a child's place. It's so interesting because I remember getting in trouble all the time growing up whenever I was trying to like be too fast, and I know that a lot of people like have a lot of issues with the way certain people would talk to them just in terms of being little black girls, having different body types, being a little bit curvier, a little bit younger, and over sexualized because of all different types of stuff. Listen, we're here, we see eye to eye. Granted, there are certain things that I feel like as children we were doing that we knew we shouldn't have been doing. There were certain adult things that we were partaking in, and by adult things I mean like if you were wanting to twerk, like I know y'all all remember the red notes, like yeah, I am a victim, not a victim, but I have had experiences as a child getting in trouble for being too grown and doing things too grown, or even talking too grown, like thinking that I can get away with saying certain things to my parents that literally is like, girl, do you not know I could bop you upside the head ahead right now. Children need to stay in children's place. So I think a lot of what we're seeing right now is children are being like super disrespectful and they think they know everything. In turn, you can't tell them anything because they pretend that they know it all. And it makes it really, really difficult to connect, especially considering that they're doing all of their learning from these female rappers that are constantly in their faces and in their screens, especially if it's music that they like the beat to or music that their parents play in the car on the way home and things like that. If you search it up on your tablet after school in your free time after you've already done your homework and all the other stuff, now your algorithm is curated to show you Sexy Red and Suki Hana and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and all these other people that are on the internet shaking their butts for Birkin bags and talking about how they FNFs and all the other stuff. Children are developing these attitudes that make them feel as if they can't be disciplined, reprimanded, told anything by any adult, making them feel as if they can do things, dress a certain way, and speak as if they are a lot more older than they are. So you have little 5-year-olds cursing teachers out, 12-year-olds dressing like they're 25 in bodycons with bust downs with holes in the back and high heels and all the things. Like, it's absolutely insane. And I feel like, yes, we can blame it on social media, but I think one of the main culprits that people aren't looking at is the fact that we're allowing children to listen to music that is directly speaking to how they can get attention. If they were to be like this, if you were to have a Coke bottle body, if you were to have a fat booty, if you were to dress like this or act in this certain way, then you can get attention, you can get money, you can get fame, and you can get notoriety. And we're allowing our children to soak this kind of information in, which is absolutely crazy. And so we're seeing these children being exposed to music, being exposed to visuals, being exposed to entertainment, language, all the things that is incredibly too explicit and inappropriate for their age, causing them to act well beyond their age in the worst possible ways. Have you ever seen a child hypersexualize themselves on the internet? I can guarantee you that they didn't have their parents' supervision and approval when making certain content where you can see them hypersexualizing themselves in the video on the TikTok, but they're doing it because they saw it in the video of their favorite female rapper and they're thinking that it's okay because Sexy Red did it. She was also flashing a lot of money. So they're equating in their heads, if I do this act or if I say this thing, then I could get a lot of money. But yeah, it's quite disturbing and it's actually really sad. And so I feel like specifically in the area of our little girls, like they don't have time to just enjoy being little girls and enjoy the things that little girls are supposed to do. Like, I don't know if this is embarrassing or not, but I remember when I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, like low key, high key, I was still playing with my American Girl dolls. Like I was still in my room on my bedroom floor with my American Girl dolls, making them do gymnastics because that is what I like to do as a little 12, 13-year-old. I was not concerned about learning how to twerk and about getting the latest fashion trends that were going to accentuate all my, like I was not concerned with any of that. I was having fun with my American Girl dolls, doing their hair and making them do gymnastics tricks. That's what I was doing. But nowadays you're seeing little girls that are obsessed with wanting to look a certain way, obsessed with wanting to have a certain body type, obsessed with acting a certain way just because they've seen their favorite celebrity, their favorite female rapper doing it, and they know the benefits that it can come with in terms of material things, in terms of a specific lifestyle, in terms of getting attention, especially in the case of getting the attention of male rappers, and then you can become a rapper baby mom. Like, come on, this is, listen, it's programming, it's subliminal programming. Subliminal programming. And that is, listen guys, just follow me here because I feel kind of crazy saying this, but also low-key I feel like that's what's happening. And these girls are just too consumed with what's going on in the adult world because of female rap. They're too concerned with what adults are doing. Like there's this classic saying that I'm sure a lot of you heard when you were growing up that said, stay out of grown folks' business. Like if you as a child tried to enter into an adult conversation that ain't had nothing to do with you and that was about some stuff that you should know nothing about, what are your parents going to say to you? Or what is the adult going to say to you? They're going to tell you to stay out of grown folks' business. And I feel like a lot of children nowadays are very, very heavily into grown folks' business. And that's a place that they should stay out of because it's going to protect them. It's going to keep them safe. It's going to allow them to keep their innocence for much longer. It's going to allow them to enjoy their childhood, which I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the fact that childhood is just so short in comparison to adulthood. And sometimes I even wish I could go back to being a child and not having to worry about some of the things that adults have to worry about because listen, being a child, that life is looking real nice right about now, and I'm sure a lot of you can agree. And so I just feel as if we need need to take a look at how we are allowing music, specifically female rap music, to affect our generation, our society, the way that we raise our kids, the way that kids are being brought up and influenced, and all of the things, because I feel like it's all interconnected. And if we want to have a society that is good, and by good I mean just people that respect themselves, that respect others, and that are not obsessed with fame and money and all the things that don't even really matter in the long run, then I think a lot of people would be a lot happier, and I think a lot less people would be self-conscious and depressed, and their value of themselves wouldn't be so low, especially so young. I just feel like if we don't do anything else, like, we need to protect the kids, we need to protect the children, because they're really the ones that are drawing the short end of the stick. They don't really have any control, any choice about what their parents expose them to, but because of that, it is really the parents' responsibility. It is really our responsibility as adults to make sure that the kids are not being exposed to stuff that would inspire them to mimic the behavior that they're seeing, just so that they can be like their favorite female rapper or their favorite celebrity. So yeah, you guys, that is it for this video. I definitely want to ask a couple questions. I wrote them down on my phone because I did not want to forget. But my first question is, how have you seen female rap affecting this generation? If you want to add anything that I said in any of my talking points to your answer, I would love to hear what you have to say. Or if you have your own fresh take, something that I didn't talk about in this video that you want to say, I will also love to hear that. You guys know I love engaging in discourse in the comments, and I love when you guys are able to catch stuff that I either miss or didn't decide to cover in the video, because I always think it just makes for a really great conversation. And the second question that I have is, what are your thoughts about the explicit music becoming more and more explicit as we become more and more desensitized to it? Because I definitely have realized that the more and more we accept the fact that music is becoming explicit, and we're just like, you know, well, I guess this is the world that we live in, the more explicit the music becomes. And as it becomes more explicit, we get desensitized to it, because we're like, okay, well, I guess it is okay to talk about WAP on the radio. If we can talk about WAP on the radio, we could talk about eating a booty like a plum on the radio. Same difference, right? No, girl, no. Let me know what you think about that, because it's definitely very interesting. And as somebody that doesn't even consume secular rap music really anymore, because I just felt like it was, I don't want my brain chemistry to be altered for me to be overtly anything, really. And I want to be edified, so I don't really listen to that music anymore. But I definitely think it's interesting to see how it is affecting other people, especially in my age range, the college age range, and even younger than me, because I do have younger sisters. And so yeah, let me know what you think. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you made it to the end of this video, make sure you comment this emoji, that way I can know you made it to the end of this video, and I will love you forever. Y'all, do y'all like my nails? I did them yesterday and I think they're so cute. Look, it's got a little bow on it and I think that's so cute. If you want to keep up with more of my social and pop culture commentary, make sure you subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell so you never miss another one of my videos. And if you want to follow my lifestyle and beauty content, you can subscribe to my second channel. And if you want to keep with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on all of my other social media. I'll make sure to put everything on the screen and link it in the description box as well. And before we go, I just want to give another shout out to Parade. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring today's video. Guys, if you don't listen to anything I said in this video, make sure you go and get that underwear, because it's going to change your life. And if you want to get 40% off of your whole order, this applies to the entire website, you can use code CAM40 to get money off. Tell me that's not a good deal, because their stuff on their website is already so affordable. Just go and get you some underwear. I don't know what to tell you. And make sure you get the ones that I told you to get, because they're so good. Like, chef's kiss. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I love you so much. Don't forget to be the light, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.